Okay, I'm going to show you how to pull the vowels out of speech in Praat. So what we've got here is just me saying hey a few times. You won't you won't have this many. I thought I peaked a little too much, so I didn't know which one I wanted to use.
Hey. Hey. Hey.
Well, these all seem fine. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to go for this one right here. So to select this, let's go through some controls really quickly. So the first controls you might want to know is to zoom in and out. You use in and out down here. You know what? I've already gotten ahead of myself. Let me get rid of that. Let's just look at Praat. When you open Praat, this is what you're going to get. Not this crazy stuff in the back that goes on to infinity, but this gray window on the left and this pink window on the right. This is what you're going to get. And you'll open a sound. And this is all that you're going to have in the beginning. So to get that window that I had, you want to go to View and Edit right here. Now you get this. Okay, so now you can zoom in and out. So I'm going to click in, and I can move in. If I want to go back out, I can move out. And then you can click. If you double click and then drag, that'll select a portion. And if you just want to hear the portion that you've selected, click on this area right here where it's got this number, 0.53294. You can click above or below. Either one works.
Hey. Hey.
Just like that. And clicking on any of these other ones will play that portion. So if you wanted to hear a bunch of silence and then a hey, you could click over here on 3.63. If you wanted to hear two hays and some silence, you'd click on 4.13. If you wanted to hear the whole thing, you could click on that thing that says visible part. But there's no reason why you'd want to do that. So let's just select this hey. So everything that's in pink is what's selected. And I'm going to zoom in on that. Now this is the word, but this isn't just the vowel. We don't want the H.
Hey.
And then with hey, the A part is a diphthong. So we actually don't want the A, we don't want that E portion. You can hear, like, go ahead and say it. You're probably alone. But if you say it really slow by yourself, it's just hey, like it becomes an E towards the end. And what we want is the A part. So for hey, what you're going to be looking at is this right here that isn't very dark. That's the huh. And we don't want that. I'll play that for you. Heh. So we want this, but this is going to be the A and the E.
Hey.
A.
Hey. Hey.
So we don't want all that either. We do want to start here where it gets darker. That's your clue that that's where a vowel is. And then where it starts to change, about right here, I'd say this is where it starts to become an E. So you can test your selection. To me, that sounds like an A. A. No E. This is what we want. This is exactly what we're going to work from. You can get a lot of the information that you want from this right here. So what you're going to do, let me get rid of all this other extra stuff that I've already got showing for me. Okay. So yours is going to look like this. I've got a bunch of like dots and weird lines and stuff on mine. Yours is going to look like this. Your Excel sheet is going to look like this. We've got hey, miserable, happy, bored, annoyed, tired, angry, surprised, calm. And things that you're trying to get are the first format, second format, third format, first bandwidth, second bandwidth, third bandwidth, the duration, the fundamental frequency, the center of gravity, the standard deviation, the skewness, and the kurtosis. All right, so that's what we're going to need. If we go back to Praat and we click on, go to pulses, and I want you to click on, well, yours actually won't show the pulses. So what I want, yours is going to be like this. You're going to click here and click on show pulses if you don't have a check mark there. If you do have a check mark there, you've already got it. So mine has these like pulses here, these little gray lines. If yours has a check mark, you're good. If it doesn't have a check mark, you'll want to click on that. Then the next thing you'll do once you get those little gray lines and have the check mark is you're going to click on voice report. This is going to give you your mean pitch, which is your fundamental frequency. So 108.5, you can round that to 109. That's totally fine. Let's bring this over here. And I want to still look at this. Okay. So this is not necessarily miserable. This is probably just like calm. Obviously yours would say it, so whatever. Okay, so first thing I had here is just the mean pitch. The fundamental frequency is what mean pitch is. So we're just going to put this in here. 109. All right. Great. And then if you look, you know what? I don't have the, sorry about that. I don't actually have the things that we wanted in this one. Well, we'll get it in a second. You also want to get jitter and shimmer. You may not have had these in ones that you've already done. That's fine. We're going to start from now and get these things. And then we'll get the others at some other point. That's totally okay. But what I want you to do is go ahead and write down the jitter and shimmer. Go with the top one right here, this one that says local. And it's a percentage. You don't have to write the percent. And you can also round it. But yeah, just round it to like 2. Well, maybe we want to be a little bit more precise with that. 1.7 and 10.1 is fine. Okay, so there's jitter and shimmer. We're done with those. I'm wondering if we should also grab harmonics to noise ratio. Let's just go with, yeah, let's get it. Let's get harmonics to noise ratio. Sorry, I'm adding some stuff. Harmonics to noise ratio, we'll do 4.8 right here. This bottom one. So it's going to be top, and bottom. All right. Cool. We're done with that. Let's go back to this. And here we want to look at formats. And then you're going to want to click on show formats. Now we have little dots everywhere. Those are the formats that we're looking at. And then click on formats again and click on format listing. Okay, so then this format listing that you have here is going to give you your formats and bandwidths. The first thing it's going to give you is the format, and then it should be the bandwidth. Is that not true? That looks like it's not true. Looks like it's time, format 1, format 2, format 3, and format 4. That's a bummer. Let me look at this again. Okay, well, shoot. Sorry about that. I thought we had an easier way. But I lied to you. So what you'll have to do is click on Get First Format, and that'll give you the mean first format, which is 739. You can round these to a whole number. So 739. And it's up to you what you want to grab next. You can grab the second format or the bandwidth, but the next one down is the bandwidth, so 649. I don't know if you saw this, but it's got hotkeys listed. So if you just hit F2, it looks like it should give you your second format, which is what I did there. So F2 is 2018. And then next one we can do the same hotkey, which is just F3, 2735. I feel like I did a dyslexia thing in here. 2107. I did. It's 2108. Wah wah. Okay, so now we got to get some bandwidths here. They don't have hotkeys, which means that our life sucks. 352. And third bandwidth is 198. Boom. Okay, the duration, you can get that from this right here. It's 0.122. Just go to 3 decimal places for that. 0.122. Okay, we're almost done. But the next part that we have to do is kind of annoying. So what we want to do is we want to do some analysis in not this window of Praat. And what we're going to have to do for that is we have to save the selected sound as a WAV file. So we're going to save what we've selected here, just the as a WAV file. Yeah, I'll save it in teaching stuff. Let's call it Hey 2-2. Okay, now it's doing its thing. We'll go back to this main Praat window. In fact, you can close this. This Praat picture one we never use, so you can totally get rid of that too. Will that work? Yeah, that'll work. Now we're going to go to Open, Read from File, and select Hey 2-2. If you want to hear it to make sure it's the right one, just do that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make sure this is the one that's selected. We're going to analyze, we're going to analyze spectrum. And you're just going to say to spectrum. And then this little window opens up and just say, okay. And click on the new thing, which says Spectrum Hey 2-2 instead of sound. And go to Query. And this is where everything else is. We want the center of gravity. And just go with whatever it gives you. That's fine. 2327. Center of gravity is the mean frequency that exists in the sound. So like there's a ton of frequencies in the sound, and they're at all different intensities. And this is just kind of averaging all of the frequencies based on how intense they are. And it's finding like where's the peak energy based, like with a weighting on the intensity of those different frequencies. The rest of this comes from the same place. Standard deviation, that's just how wide, it's like typical standard deviation based around the center of gravity. So 3411. And then skewness and kurtosis are also just kind of telling you what's going on with that center of gravity measure. So if we go to skewness, this is like how skewed the center of gravity measurement is, 1.7, which isn't much. And kurtosis is 1.5. Not too much. Okay, and that's everything. That's what you're going to do for each of these files. If it was me, if I was doing these, I would get like a few of them and do one thing at a time. Like I would just make like a, I don't know, like a factory for myself so I could just focus on doing one thing, you know, like bring in one person's, all their haze, and then just go through all the haze and figure out like what are their formants and bandwidths, and then go to what are their center of gravities, and then what is their jitter, shimmer, and harmonics to noise ratio, and just do those, because it's kind of like there's 3 different places you have to go for all these. I would just load a bunch in and do each of those different things. I feel like it's faster. Like I feel like I wouldn't forget as much like, oh, what's my next step? Because I'd like learn one and fill everything in and then go figure out the second thing I was doing and do all those and then do the third thing. I think it's quicker. Obviously, you know your workflow better yourself, and you know, you do whatever's right for you, but that's how I would probably do it. So if you're not sure about the best way to go about it, I feel like that might be the way. Okay. Email me if you have any questions.